There are too many things I like about it. I don't know if I can finish the thought.
This is our final Your Money Month segment. I do love these. I think we should do them all year, actually. Today we're going to talk about the question of a trusted contact person. We're joined by Robin Thompson, founder and wealth consultant at Castlemark Wealth Management. So the idea with a trusted contact person is somebody whom if you have an investment account, if you're disabled or in an accident, it's somebody they can contact to take instructions.
Yeah, it's exactly as it sounds. So a trusted contact person is a person that you authorize your financial advisor, your insurance, your banking, financial institution, the ability to contact them in limited circumstances. You're essentially saying that this is the person that I trust for you to speak to in the event that I can't speak to myself. So it's limited circumstances. And one of the things that we're seeing, Andrew, is we're seeing very low awareness rates of TCP or trusted contact person here in Canada. We've actually seen 2/3 of Canadians in retirement age, 50 and above, that 68% of them do not have a trusted contact person on their investment accounts, which is a really large number. 28% of those people actually say they have no idea what a trusted contact person is or that they were even allowed to make aware of one of them. So it's a really important topic to have.
You know, I don't think I have one. And I'm assuming my spouse, they would go to my spouse, but it's not that straightforward.
Yeah, so I think you have to understand that in the landscape of financial services or privacy, your privacy obviously is very important. And what you want to make sure is that the person that is speaking on your behalf is actually allowed to do that and that privacy is being upheld. So when you have a trusted contact person, what that means is they are not allowed to they don't have any control over your financial records. So there's no control. They can't see your accounts. They have no authority over your accounts. What they're allowed to do essentially is speak to your advisor. They're allowed to tell your advisor, this is the kind of person that needs to speak to their power of attorney. This is this is their executor. You know, if there is a area of perhaps a health crisis or incapacity, who do they speak to? So they don't have any authority, any control over the accounts, but what they can do is they can act as an emergency contact in order to make sure that the financial institution or the advisor has a place to go in the event they can't get a hold of them.
What if some urgent investment decision was needed? Although I can't really think of one. But...
Yeah, and that's the thing is that who has control over your accounts? I mean, unless you're with the discretionary portfolio manager, someone that you've given and they're unaware of your situation, I mean, you need to be making those decisions on your account based on the type of account you have. But this is really about what if you can't speak for yourself? Who can your advisor contact? Who can your financial institution contact in order to get the next steps for people to be able to step in and help you?
How is this different from a power of attorney?
So a power of attorney is a legal document that gives somebody authority. This is not a legal process. It's not a legal document. So this is an optional choice that you have to be able to put a trusted contact person in. So it's not going to give anyone legal authority, but what it is going to do is it's going to make sure that you have some protection. So I think one of the conversations we have quite often is around financial elder abuse. So as people age, perhaps if they become incapacitated or they start to have issues with dementia, you know, I have that in my family. So my mother-in-law, she suffers from dementia. And up till about 6 months ago, she was in a retirement home. And during that time, I can't tell you the amount of times that she would get calls from people pretending they're with the CRA.
It's terrible,
or they're with a credit card company trying to take money from her. Thankfully, we're the ones that get those calls and we know what to do. But what if she didn't have someone in place? The next person she would be contacting would be her financial institution or her bank to be able to make those funds available. And this is where a trusted contact person can wave a flag and say, this is unusual behavior. Like, this is an unusual behavior. We need to contact a trusted contact person. Because as advisors or people that are aware of the person's accounts, we know their attitudes. We know how they manage their money. We know their behaviors. So if something is off, then that's the signal for someone to reach out and say, something might be a bit awry here. So what can we do?
But it is tricky, isn't it? Because unfortunately, sometimes relatives will loot an elderly person's account. I mean, that does happen sometimes.
So this is really about making sure that the financial institution or your advisor has someone to reach out to say, this is what happens. And it's not just the elderly. People who live alone could be more susceptible. I mean, people that have had a major transition in their life. Perhaps they've lost a spouse or they've gone through divorce. Anything that's really put them in a place where they are vulnerable financially, you know, that could mean a whole bunch of different things for people when it comes to their finances. So it is that extra layer of protection. It is a way to be able to say, this is who you contact. This is how we can help you.
So you say that typically new client application forms will include a requirement for a TCP these days.
Yeah, so again, it's not legally required,
No.
but what we're looking for here is to make sure that there is a contact person that is on the form. You can also request a trusted contact authorization form from your current advisor, financial institution, and it's really important for everyone to consider. And like I said, it's not just about the elderly. And if we think about where we are right now in the world, Andrew, AI. Cybersecurity, scams, like people now have the ability to be able to have their voices sound exactly like their voices, videos. So in this world of changing sophistication, this is a time to really put some arms around your accounts, put the arms around the people that you care about and say, let's just make sure we have a second layer of protection here so that the people are protected, that their finances are protected, that their wealth is protected. And it's a very simple step.
And they don't necessarily need to know in detail your finances, but they should know you fairly well.
Yeah, they have no access to your financial information whatsoever. So there is no disclosure around how much you have in your accounts, what kind of accounts you have, what the balance of those accounts. They have no access to that. But what they do need to know is your support structure. So who is in your world? Who is your executor? Who's your power of attorney? Who can they contact? Who do they have the access to be able to pull in on your behalf? So it's about not knowing your financial information per se. It's about knowing your personal information, who you are, because they're that trusted contact for your advisor.